Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special live stream event with us, Cloud Underground. I'm Laura. This is Nato, and we are joined by a very special guest today, Ken Underhill from CyberLife.
Thanks for having me on. Always a good time on Friday nights with you guys.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special live stream event with us,
weird
Cloud Underground.
echo.
I'm Laura. This is
Sure
Nato,
why.
and we are joined by a very special guest today, Ken Underhill.
Right,
from
right.
CyberLife.
Here, can I just
Yeah.
say? Okay.
Solve it for me.
Don't
Sorry,
worry about
guys.
it. So you can just talk, Laura.
Technical
I'll take
details.
care of this.
To a very special live stream
just
event
have to say.
with us. Cloud Underground. I'm Laura. This is Nato, and we are joined by a very special
Okay,
guest today.
all right. Sorry, guys.
Right. Here, can I just
Yeah.
say?
So it
okay.
looks like
Sorry,
NATO's using that new
guys.
So you
hacking
can just talk,
technique
Laura.
called right
details.
click.
I'll take care of this.
So for those out there that don't know, that's the new
All right.
technique.
Oh, yes,
All right.
very fancy.
I've started to get used to this.
Okay, all right. Sorry, guys.
I'm still hearing it.
So
Is
it looks
this
like
just me?
NATO's using that new
So you
hacking
can just talk,
technique
Laura.
called right click.
What is
So
happening?
for those out there that don't
There's
know,
just something else still playing it.
I must have
Oh, yeah,
too
All
many
right.
tabs open.
Do you want me to keep driving?
Yeah, let me just close a bunch of things.
Do you want me to keep driving? Yes. No.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still hearing it. Is
looks
this
like
just me?
NATO's
Oh, goodness.
All right.
What is
Let's
happening?
figure out There's where. just something else still playing it.
I must have
Oh, yeah.
too many
Event
tabs open.
setup. Do you want me to keep?
Yeah, let me just close a bunch of things.
These are muted. Do you want me to keep driving? Yes. No.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still hearing it. Is this just me?
Oh, goodness.
Sorry, I guess I. All right. Let's figure out
There's
where.
just something else still playing it.
One,
You know.
1 sec.
Yeah, let me just close a bunch of things.
These are muted.
Do you want me to keep driving? Yes. No.
Always something, right, guys? Oh, goodness.
Sorry, I guess I. What all is open? I don't even know.
Close.
Maybe just start closing things.
That's what I was about to do.
No.
1 sec. Okay. Yeah, just close
Sorry.
stuff.
Everything on that side is
Always something, right, guys?
We'll fix it.
Sorry, I guess.
What all is open? I don't
Oh my
even know.
goodness, what is happening?
Maybe just start closing things.
That's what I was about to do.
1 sec. Okay. Yeah, I think we
Okay.
did it.
I think I did it.
There are other windows, I think. All
Yeah,
right.
I think I just had way too many tabs open.
Open OBS so we can see the audio level so that we know if it's working, yes or no.
Okay.
Okay, and
All
so
right.
we should be good.
Okay, well, sorry for that super... Yeah, anyway. We usually use a different machine for our streaming, but it's down at the moment, so we're using my beautiful, amazing computer, but I'm not as technically inept at the whole streaming thing as Nathan is, so sorry about that, guys. Thanks for bearing with us.
The normal server is being rebuilt.
So anyway, CyberLife.
Let's make sure Ken's audio works. Ken, say something.
Oh, it totally doesn't
Okay, we're
work.
good.
Can't hear you guys at all. Sorry.
We're set. All right.
Oh, and there's a
Yeah, so CyberLife, and I see you have the boss in the room there.
Oh yeah,
with you.
he's here.
Oh yes.
always here.
The little one is trying to make its demands.
He's getting antsy.
It's teething, so it's ready to eat people's flesh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the best way to shape your teeth is on human flesh.
Yes, of course. Yeah, definitely.
If you want me to hold them, I can't see you. Either way.
We can switch in a minute. Anyway, so Ken, obviously tomorrow we're doing a binge watch of all of the CyberLife episodes of the CyberLife television show on the NATO is Code Research Radio live stream. We're going to be taking that over starting at noon tomorrow. There are links in the description of this video wherever you're watching it. And so Ken, tell us a little bit about CyberLife and what people can be expecting to see during the live stream tomorrow.
Nothing but utter chaos. So CyberLife is so obviously a cybersecurity television show. So not just a podcast, but an actual TV show syndicated in over, I think it's 150 channels. You can find it, as well as like the Binge Networks app and the website and things like that as well. And they're good. They're adding more each day. But basically, the show is number one, a place for current cyber professionals to come share their wisdom, share their story a little bit, try to motivate some others to get into the field. And secondary, allow people to actually learn some different cyber things and get interested in cybersecurity for the more general public out there.
Awesome.
It's exciting.
And lots of
The
things in
most
the future, by the way. Lots of things in this crazy, chaotic brain for the future. So just keep an eye on the show. It will evolve over time to some
Amazing.
really,
Yeah.
to what I think are cool things. We'll see if anyone else thinks it's cool.
Definitely. So
You are in a spaceship.
You've got 2 seasons so far, and you're working on your 3rd season. Are you kind of keeping to the 8 episode block kind of standard, or?
Yeah. So the 8 episode is kind of there's a little alchemy behind that. So for those that are alchemists out there, you'll understand if you understand the power of the number 8. But for others, yes, 8 episodes, short, sweet seasons. I didn't want to do like 500 episodes a season.
Yeah.
A little crazy. So yeah, it seems to work well, and people seem to love the show so far, at least as far as they tell me. There's probably some haters out there. There always is, but that's okay. And good viewership and everything right now. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Dealt with a lot of stuff during the pandemic of just trying to get it done, get it out there and get it pushed out, and swap media companies and all sorts of other things. But it's been a fun journey, a fun learning experience, and learning about television is a lot different than just turning on a camera and doing a podcast. I've learned that.
Well, that kind of leads me into a good question that I had for you, which is just kind of how you got started and like what made you decide you wanted to start your own television show.
Yeah. So it never really was like I wasn't like 4 years old, like I want to have a TV show. I'm a total introvert. I know that's shocking for a lot of people because I'm very outgoing on social media, stuff like that. But for me, I had the podcast Cyber Life a couple years back, and I had an opportunity with some people I knew at the time that offered me a chance to have my own TV show. I was like, why the heck not? I mean, come on, like who has it? There's nobody else that had a cybersecurity television show. So why not do it? We'll see what happens. It's an expensive journey. I'll say that much. And it's been a learning experience. There's just a whole box of things you have to go through for television stuff and learning and things like that. But it's been a very rewarding journey. And I mean, I did protecting IP, the trademark, all that good stuff on Cyber Life. So like nobody else can actually use that for media, et cetera. I mean, but there's always ways around that. Anyways, we won't get into that. There's always ways around that stuff, but it's been a fun journey, and it's actually opened up a lot of doors with the Cyber Life business just by having a television show. So it's one of those things, regardless of what you do, you don't have to have a TV show, but for those out there watching this, you need to build your brand, and building your personal brand through podcasting or YouTube or whatnot, or a television show. Those things are very valuable, even if you're working for somebody else. That's your personal brand has value, and you have to understand that. And so you have to put yourself out there in uncomfortable situations, and get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's kind of cliche, right? You hear that all these gurus out there saying that, but you really do in life is if you're uncomfortable, that means you're growing and you're moving to whatever the next level is for you.
Absolutely.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I think, and that goes a lot to, what we really push in our, in our DevSecops Dojo group, which is, personal branding. A lot of the tools that we've created, including our, AI tools, are very much focused on like helping people build their personal brands, and it is really important.
Yeah, because it's like ultimately like one of the biggest challenges with developers or techie types or people who like code and all that stuff, they tend to not be social or talk to people, and you'll get this, what I see over and over and over and over again with like a lot of folks in the tech sphere trying to build their brands is they get locked in a situation where they'll learn a whole bunch of stuff like, oh yeah, I'm going to be so good at this thing, but then because they spend all their time coding and doing all those things, no one even knows that they can do that. No one even knows what they can do. And then what happens is imposter syndrome hits like a truck, because they're like, well, how come these other people who don't even know what I know are getting all the opportunities? Well, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Mm-hmm. And some people are like, yeah, but I don't even know people. It's like who you can meet. And that's easy on the internet, who you can meet. You start by showing people what you know. You just show it.
No, and I think that's a good point. I think the other thing I'll just add on top of what Nato just said is you don't know who's watching. So you may post something on social media, it gets no likes, it gets no comments, maybe gets 30 views, but 20 of those people could be hiring managers. So if you're looking for a job, those 20 people may reach out to you directly and say, hey, notice what you can do. You got the skills versus somebody else has got a bunch of certs and all that stuff. Let's talk. If you're looking, let's talk. Could also be if you're a business owner out there trying to start a consulting or or any type of business out there, just putting yourself out there oftentimes it gives you that credibility, because you obviously know your stuff if you're sharing it, at least hopefully you do, and you're sharing it, and people just say, okay, well, I know this person can do it because I see it, versus somebody else that they talk a big game. Oh, I can do this, I can do that. Well, show me that you can do it. And the best way to do that is, again, personal branding and pushing that information out there. And it can be, and I'll just add on there, it can be any way. It doesn't have to be a video. If you're comfortable writing, you can put a post out there, a blog post, article, whatever. I'm not a huge writer. I don't, that's not my thing. I can turn on a camera, do a video all day long, but ask me to write something, especially PowerPoint slides, that's going to take me weeks or months, or I'm just going to hire someone else to do it, honestly. That's me, but other people they just write like crazy, but if they get them on camera, they're so nervous, they can never do the camera thing. So whatever medium works best for you, and only you can decide what that is. I don't know, Nato doesn't know, Laura doesn't know. We have no idea, so don't ask us. We have no idea what works for you.
It's that's a really good point, because I think about like the dojo members a lot, because in the DevSecops Dojo, we work primarily with practitioners or people who already are at a certain skill bar. And one of the things about that is different people promote themselves in very different ways. We've got folks who do YouTube. We've got folks who make posts on like LinkedIn, just different people doing different things. And I got this message from a member asking, like, do I really have to like post all the time and all this stuff? It's like, I don't really like doing that. I'm not social. And they're like, I wish I could just code it, but that's not really possible, is it? And I was like, oh, it's possible. If that's how you do it, and it is the DevSecops Dojo. If you promote yourself by like coding and automating, I mean, we even use AI for a lot of our promotions, and you can code your brand to promote you so that maybe your personality prefers that. It's just different for everyone.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And by the way, for those that don't know the dojo that are maybe new watching this, great place to be. Great place to be. A lot of very, very skilled engineers in there, and just overall good time in that area.
Yeah, and for anyone watching who's not in the dojo, if you're interested in getting in there and being a part of our DevSecops Dojo community, Nathan, you want to talk really briefly about what it is and I'll then tell people how they can join.
At a high level, the whole purpose of the DevSecops Dojo is to not just teach DevSecOps, because that's a core piece of it, but using DevSecOps skills to basically on every aspect of your life. So how would you learn DevSecOps the best? DevSecOps everything around you. And so we do everything from teaching how to do DevSecOps for social posting all the way to DevSecOps for AI. And we are releasing an entire software kit that's for DevSecOps as well, which we'll wait a little bit to talk about this new application that's been developed over the past 2 weeks. So we'll put that on hold. But
yeah, that's not what we're here to talk about tonight.
Your life.
But
well, we have to talk about the CyberLife torpedo a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure,
absolutely.
Yeah, 1,000%.
But not right now. We'll wait a little bit.
But also, if you're interested in joining the dojo, you can go to there's a link in the description to the video here, to your live stream that you're watching, and to our homepage. And there's a tab along the top that says DevSecops Dojo. There's links in that page to get you in there, and it'll explain a little bit more what we're doing in that group. So. Yeah, and a big part of it is we have a cool like Discord community that's pretty active, and so you can go in there and get chatty with the rest of our dojo members.
Yeah, not a lot to join either. Just your firstborn, kitchen sink, and a little bit of your blood, and you're good to go.
Yeah, we're not too demanding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you want to start a company, we teach you how to code an entire company if that's what you want. Automate the entire company. Build your own product, and if you're like, well, what kind of product would I make? And it's like, that's a good question. That's up to you. Where can your creativity take you? With code, you can do anything. You could make mobile apps and make a living doing that. You could make web apps, do that. You could create your own Facebook. You could create your own streaming service. We actually have multiple streaming services that we run now. We're even
yes.
running a Cyber Life binge day tomorrow to watch Cyber Life to the face for back-to-back starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep. So that Cyber Life event is starting at noon tomorrow, Mountain Time. That's going to be on the NATO as Code YouTube channel. We're taking over his Cybersecurity Research Radio stream. So there's also links to that. And so it's going to be awesome. We're really excited. We're just going to be watching the episodes. We'll all be in the chats. We'll have a couple breaks kind of scheduled in because it's going to be every couple hours, everybody needs to get up and stretch their legs or whatever. But we're really excited. It's going to be super fun. And, I've seen a couple Cyber Life episodes, but I haven't seen them all yet. So I'm excited
You will now.
to really dive in.
Gonna learn how to pick locks with mud.
Yeah, I'll just say this. If you're looking for lock picking, you probably don't want to call any of us in that episode. Just FYI. Probably not the best at that. But yeah, no, it's so far we've had a lot of really good guests. There's a number of upcoming guests that are phenomenal as well. And we're always looking for new guests on the show. So, we have a big no jerk policy. So if you're a jerk and you're only there to self-promote yourself, you're in the wrong spot. There's a lot of podcasts out there you could probably get on. If you want to be on the TV show, you need to come with some value. So what are you going to share with the world? Could just be your story. Could just be sharing about who you are, some of your struggles you had growing up and how you got into cyber and things like that. Because that can motivate someone else that may be the next, great thing in cyber to get in the field and get learning and stuff like that. So you just never know, but you have to come bringing value. I vet everybody to come on the show. I've even interviewed some people that turned out to be jerks and they'll never see the light of day on the show ever. I deleted their content. I was like, no way. So just FYI, no jerks allowed. It's a family friendly show. Honestly, it's watched by a lot of people, actually, even cyber practitioners, like sit down and watch it with their children. It's
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Right? You get the kids interested in it, at least for a few hours until they go play a game or something, whatever else kids do these days. But it's a good thing, and like I said, a lot of good guests coming up, and eventually I'll so everyone in the comments, let us know, regardless of where you're watching at, whether it's YouTube or whatever, if you want Nato and Laura to finally come on the Cyber Life show, let us know in the comments. Say yes, 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 or whatever you want to say there. So we have to convince them. There has to be enough comments for them to come on.
That's right.
We'll have to make a visit and jump on and have all the good conversations. So Ken, what took you all the way from wherever because everyone's career starts somewhere. Speaking of stories, what took your story into hacking things and then all the way into television, hacking things on TV instead?
Yeah. So, where do we start? So, I mean, I have a background like a lot of people actually in cyber, as I spoke with more people, right? I grew up very poor, a lot of adversity, pushed through all that stuff. There's a lot of veterans. I served in the military. I was actually in healthcare, and I worked a little IT many, many years before, long before I was in the military, just a little bit, and then got out of that and went into healthcare. But I went back into IT because I just absolutely hated the IT team where I was working as a nurse, and I was like, they just totally suck. These people are just the biggest morons in the world. So that led me to go back into healthcare IT, and from there, networking, network security, your traditional path from there, right? You worked IT for a few years and then moved more into cyber stuff. Ended up as doing pen testing. I actually don't hack stuff that much anymore. I just, I found that I could be technical if I want to, but it's much easier to manipulate the human mind and hack that. And you get things done. And I've gotten myself into some very sensitive locations. Not intentionally, by the way, not intentionally. I just was talking to people and they just kind of, tailgating or piggybacking, whatever term or whatever ethical hacking term you want to use. But I just kind of casually went in these locations with them and nobody said anything. And I was like, finally I raised my hand. I was like, I probably shouldn't be in here. I should not be in here.
So in other words, you're really good at social engineering.
I am, and it's totally unintentional, which is a great thing, right? And it's all actually authentic. Like I'm just having conversations with people, and it just happens. The other thing I hear a lot is on my voice. People say it's very soothing, very disarming, things like that. I get those types of feedback all the time, which is fantastic. Because actually, sometimes when I have people as guests on the show, they like spill everything to me, and I had that a lot with the podcast. I had to like edit a ton because people are sharing some really deep, dark, things that they don't want the world to know about. But it's good for them, right? Because we do have a lot of mental health issues in this industry. A lot of people dealing with mental health issues. A lot of narcotic abuse, a lot of alcohol abuse, unfortunately, and even more unfortunately, a lot of people have committed suicide even over the past several years in cybersecurity. So if you're out there watching this, and I think that's a good segue. If you're out there watching this, understand that a lot of us have gone through things like that, especially those of us, post-military. There's a lot of us that deal with those struggles, and you're not alone. And you do not hesitate to reach out, talk to someone. I mean, you can always reach out to me and say, hey, I'm having some issues right now, and just want to get on a call with someone or whatever. Many of us will. I know that's not the theme of this episode, but it's a big issue right now, and it's been a big issue. And just understand there's other people out there that are willing to help you out and help you through those difficult situations. But yeah, for me, my story was, I guess, traditional in the sense that I came kind of from an IT background into cyber, or information security as it was called at the time. And that's me. And so the transition to television, like I said, I'm an introvert. I had no plans ever in my life to be in front of people ever. Like that was my goal, was like, let me be behind the scenes. I remember like back when I worked at a hospital laundry facility dealing with crap, literally. I was like behind the scenes, right on the dirty side. I didn't want to be dealing with people so much. I was like, okay, I'll deal with dirty laundry. That's fine. But these days, I'm obviously in front of people. But yeah, the TV show thing was more of a blossoming from the podcast. That's what it was. I was doing the podcast, and people asked me to do that, and then the opportunity came. And I firmly believe an opportunity favors the bold. If you have an opportunity, take it. Don't say, well, it's not the right time. It's never the right time. It will absolutely never be the right time. So just take it, do it. You're going to be uncomfortable. Like I might make the TV stuff look easy. I assure you, there's a lot of cursing and stress behind the scenes, especially when it started. Dealing with all these other entities, making sure studio people were there on time, and editing teams, and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of hassles with that. But that's how I've kind of blossomed into that, and I've actually found that I'm passionate about that, which is interesting. People say find your passion. Well, sometimes your passion actually finds you because you're taking action, and that's been my experience in life. And Adobe Premiere, which I use for video editing, and which I've hated for years. It's been the bane of my existence. But more recently, I found a really good course on. I've taken, I don't know, probably 20, 30 courses over the years on just that software. All of them sucked. I'm sorry, instructors that I've bought from, they sucked. But I found a good one recently, very exciting stuff. And now I'm finding that that's also a passion, right? I'm going in and trying new things with videos and stuff like that. And I know some of the online gurus that might be watching are like, oh my God, you got to delegate everything. You're wasting your time. But I enjoy it. It's actually very therapeutic for me and my PTSD. It's very therapeutic to just kind of explore different things like that. So that's kind of a long-winded answer to your question of how it came from the more technical side over to television. But that's my story in a nutshell. There's a lot of missing parts in there. But.
Long-winded is good because it's good to share, because other people have stories, and it's good to hear like it's okay to share your story and like where you're coming from. I think it's important for other people to know that like you can all do it too. It's thank you for sharing. Definitely.
Absolutely,
yeah, we've definitely got some people on YouTube appreciating the mental health chats, and I think honestly, you're saying not the theme of this episode, but really it's the theme of all. It is an important thing to remember, and it can be the theme of every conversation if it needs to be. So it's like, yeah, I think that's a great reminder. Thanks everyone for watching on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are right now. We really appreciate it.
And LinkedIn.
And
also, I actually do have a quick question for the audience. For those watching out there, post in the comments. Let us know, You take the red pill or the blue pill? Which one? Which one from the Matrix are you taking? Let us know.
And while you're answering, I do, before we get too far away from the mental health piece, I do want to emphasize, like, in a lot of ways, because I get folks asking a lot of questions like, how do I get in cybersecurity? How do I understand cybersecurity? How do I get better at cybersecurity? In a lot of ways, I think it's important to understand that, why do we have security? Why do we have cybersecurity? Why do you lock your doors at night? You know, it's the same concept, but I think on the internet, sometimes we forget that there's like people on the other side, and it's just like numbers and like, oh, you're just trying to not get like hacked or whatever. But like, what does that really mean? In a lot of ways, it's understanding how to manage mental health at scale. And that's what cybersecurity is, like, in a lot of ways, is how I see it. And if you want to have a safer company, if everyone at your company hates you and you get hacked, they're not going to help, like, if anything, they're just going to be like, I don't know, well, I'm off the clock now, I'm gone. Like, they don't care about your breach. But if you have like people who you actually care about, then when something happens, everyone quite literally rallies together. And true cybersecurity is the rally. True cybersecurity, because everyone's going to get hacked at some point. If you've never been hacked or scammed, that's either a lie, or you just never even realized that you probably still hacked right now, don't even know it. So if you've never been hacked, you just don't even know that you've been hacked. That's terrifying too. But really, it kind of comes back to, you want people to rally if you want to have a safer online experience, a safer online company. And what's one of the benefits of building a bigger audience? When I first started doing business and started like promoting myself publicly, I get these trolls and these people who'd be jerks online and tell me nasty things in the socials and stuff like that. But all of a sudden, you focus on building an audience that rallies with you. If someone says something snotty to you, like in the socials, you don't even have to say anything when you have like an audience who's just like, what?
Maybe you're like,
and they come around and rally.
built-in moderators. Yeah.
Just ask Beyonce, right, with the Beehive. Like, if you talk trash about Beyonce if you want to.
Exactly.
That's right. It's not going to end well for you. But
well, I think Nato, you brought up a really good point there. Basically the law of reciprocity, right? Like, for companies out there that are mistreating their employees, and there's a ton of them out there, you're going to be dealing with employees that maybe they're experienced and they leave and they're like, whatever, it's your breach, your problem. But the companies that actually invest in their teams and treat them well, and you've got good management and good leadership in the company, those teams, I mean, I've seen people like, I can't go home yet because, and even though it's 6 hours past time to go home, they're still working a problem because they need to solve it, because they feel that sense of, family, if you will. And companies throw that term around. I don't like to use it, but they feel that sense of family, if you will, of like, this is my family member, so to speak. I need to protect them, right? I need to help them, or it's a friend or whatever. By the way, the family stuff is all BS in a company. When we're family. No, you're not. You're just people that work together. You're going to forget all about them after you leave the company. That's the way it is. But law of reciprocity is one of those buzzwords out there. But basically, treat people the golden rule, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated. And if you do that as a business owner out there, and that trickles down from upper leadership, it doesn't usually trickle up from the frontline teams. It trickles down from the leadership. So that's a quick way for those. I guess I'll jump on another thing here, another tangent. For those out there looking for jobs, looking for what company should I go to, if you go in there and it seems like it sucks, everyone's busy, nobody really cares to be there, things like that, it's not a good company. Because everything trickles down from the leadership. If it's got good leadership, then you're going to see that effect in the company. And those are the companies where you see people are happy, they're enjoying it. And a lot of times they're not even getting paid as much as people at the other company that sucks, because they don't need to be, right? Because they feel comfortable, they're relaxed, they're very, very, as low stress as possible. There's no real such thing as low stress in the cyber world, but as low stress as possible. They feel valued. And again, to Nato's point, they're very loyal, and they'll go to bat for you. And same way with those out there that are building your personal brands. If you don't engage in the foolishness, like I rarely, sometimes I'll ask people like, what do you even mean? Because sometimes comments make no sense. I'm like, that's just the dumbest thing, but maybe I just don't understand what they're trying to say. But you'll also get haters. And if you engage with the haters, it's just going to be detrimental to you overall. They're energy vampires, as I call them. and they're just kind of like little piranhas in the river, right? So think of you know, you're like the fish or something in the river getting eaten by piranhas. They're constantly pulling from you. But if you ignore them and you step out of the river, then they can't get you, right? Hopefully they can't get you. They may grow legs and chase you down, but they probably can't get you. So just ignore that type of stuff. You're going to deal with that. You're going to deal with haters out there as you build your personal brand. It's going to be people saying you suck. You know, if you do video, oh, your video sucks, whatever. But there'll be other people that come along and say, oh, hey, your lighting's off a little bit. Hey, Nato, here's some, you know, low cost. Here's a YouTube video on how to do this stuff, you know, very low cost or for free to set up your lighting properly. It'll make your video a little better or whatever, right? I had that. I had people do that. I had a ton of haters. And if you just focus on them, like you're not gonna be successful. But
It's true.
I had other people that stepped up and said, hey, your audio, your lighting, you know, things like that. And as long as you're receptive to things like that, you're gonna do very well. I know, again, another tangent. I do that sometimes, but for those that have followed me for a while, you know that. So deal with it.
It's such good advice too, because like some I guess some hackery or some voodoo hacking magic on the internet is for those who've heard of SEO. One of the things that we do is we use an AI that helps like build promotion and stuff like that. And one of the things that we have to understand in order for the AI to work is people's like lingering time or their view time. So every time you like go past any post on any social media platform or anything, generally speaking, if you spend at least 3 seconds looking at that thing, you're going to get more of that thing. And so the way to get more like to not see what you don't want to see is don't even give it 3 seconds. If you see something that you already like, it irks you immediately, scroll past as fast as you can, because I see I see this on LinkedIn and people be like, everyone on LinkedIn is so terrible, or everyone on LinkedIn is saying these things that I hate. What that means is you saw something you hate and you spent more than 3 seconds being angry about it. And the internet doesn't care about your feelings. It just knows that you've lingered for 3+ seconds, and forbid you linger for 6 seconds. If you linger for 6 seconds, you'll get a lot more routinely of that thing you hate. Don't give it 6 seconds. Don't give it 3 seconds. Scroll past it. Scroll fast. You're like, ooh, don't like that. Scroll. Just move on.
So that explains why all I see is your content on social media.
Yep,
Gotcha.
that'll do it.
Makes sense.
Linger.
All that time you spend yelling at Nato on your screen.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like he doesn't even hear me when I do that. It's strange.
Oh yeah. Those angry
It's like he's
comments
right
that
there,
you try
but
to
so
send
far
me, and I'm
away.
just like, I'm scrolling past that nasty comment from Ken.
I,
and that
I
one
even
too.
draw my, I even take a crayon and draw on my screen, like, you know, little devil horns and stuff like that. But it's like he never has them after that.
All the madness. Laura, how do you feel about crazy, angry people on the internet? Maybe not crazy, but angry.
I mean, I feel like I tend to avoid them. I don't know. We have a great audience, though, I think, with Cloud Underground. It's like mainly people who are kind to everyone. Like, that's, you know, obviously a big thing to us is equality and kindness, and like, you know, we don't need to like hate on anybody for any of their ideas or thoughts or whatever. And I think and I think that really reflects in our audience. You know, we kind of just attract those kinds of people, and everyone else just kind of just floats on by. So, you know,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like attracts like.
yeah.
I think, you know, the other thing is, you know, you have NATO, right? So like if anyone messes with Laura, just understand NATO's already in your laptop. And,
That's right.
you're just done it. You're just done at that point. I don't even try to block him on the firewall. I'm like, yeah, it's whatever. NATO will be in there. He'll do whatever. It's all good. All good.
You know, and our groups are all private. You know, they are open and free for people to join, but at the same time they are private, so we can moderate them a little better. And
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel is still pretty small enough that we don't get like the trolls too bad there. So I'm lucky that I feel like I'm so far been like pretty insulated from a lot of the hate that happens online. But I also know from like experience being married to Nathan that it is definitely there, and there are some awful people who will say awful things for really no reason other than, I don't know, for themselves, makes themselves feel something. So you just gotta let it roll off your back and keep going and hide those comments. And Don't let them bother you too much.
Yeah, no, that's some really good advice. Yeah, you just have to, like I said before, energy vampires, right? You just have to
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
like whatever. A good a mentor long time ago, early on in my life. Well, I wasn't that not that early. I wasn't like 2 or anything, but I was getting frustrated by what some people were saying about me, and the mentor basically asked me, he said, okay, how many of those people pay your bills? I was like, well, none of them. I'm like, okay, why do you care? And that resonated with me. And I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense, right? So for those out there listening, if they're not paying their bills, who cares about their opinion? They don't matter. And if they want to keep, commenting on your post, negative things, be like, all right, I need you to cash at me or, Venmo or whatever. Need you to send me some Bitcoin if you want to keep commenting. Otherwise, I'm going to block you because you need to, you need to pay a bill if you're going to hang around. So, and see what they say. I guarantee they're just going to go away.
Yeah.
I have yet to find anyone that's willing to send me that money. So.
And because we
That's
teach
right.
people how to hack in Dojo, you don't want to mess with people in Dojo because I don't know what someone's going to do to you in Dojo if you're not nice. So I don't even have to worry about that. So just don't.
None of us take
people
responsibility
angry in
for what
Dojo.
our audiences will do to you if you comment negative things. I've had to have a few conversations via LinkedIn messaging to just ask people not to like totally obliterate someone's life.
Yep.
Because that they've reached out to me first saying, hey, I've got all the, and it only took them, by the way, for those out there watching that are non-technical, it doesn't take long to find everything about you. I mean, I could find just about everything about most people, unless you're like really sanitizing things in just 10 minutes or less. It's oftentimes two minutes. I know where you live. I know everything about your kids. I know everything. It does not take long at all. So you really, the safest thing to do online is just don't pick fights. Just be you, deliver value, be nice to people. Those crazy things we did before the internet came around, like the normal things we used to do. Just do those things.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk.
It's true.
There are people that like in their mindset, to your point, Laura, like they'll see a video on YouTube or something that's got, 1 million likes and no dislikes. And they'll be like, oh, I got to dislike it. Even though they love the video, like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, there's
like,
that.
why dislike it? Well, because it didn't have any dislikes. I wanted to balance it.
Yep, there's those people.
Humans always make it complicated. Dogs, cats, pigs. It's easy with animals. Humans make it complicated.
Absolutely.
It's very true. It's like I learned in 2020 that if I don't tell the audience to like not go after someone, that they're like, even if it's like 1 in 100, when you have like at least a couple thousand like followers or subscribers or whatever, then it's like it just takes like 2, 3, 4, 5 like ultra volatile like members to like go after someone who like messed with you online, and so I would be like, okay, everyone, just like stay calm, don't go after them, please, just leave them alone. Because it's like we have no control over what other people do, but since we do, because I focused a lot on the hacker branding, especially, and back in those days,
you have a bunch of hackers in your audience. You sometimes have to remind them not to.
They're all still around. Yeah. And the thing is, like, they come from like different regions and stuff, so like jurisdiction control is they might do something that's illegal in like our country, but not like in their country. And so it's like, really just don't make the wrong people angry, because there's like no stopping them. So I'm just also saying that for everyone's safety. It's just it's not just me. This is true for everyone. Go and talk smack to people.
And it doesn't have to be that you're talking smack on someone with a following saying you could be talking smack on a video, and that may be the thing that triggers someone to be like, all right, I'm gonna hunt you down, because you have no idea. I remember someone I know had some issues where someone was kind of going back and forth with them on a YouTube video. I found their information in a matter of minutes, and everything about them, their phone number, where they lived, everything like that. And I commented on the video. I said, are you still living on X street, nice house? And they went away. At that point they stopped all the comments. So it's a very there are some very skilled people out there. We all have skills on this session. There's people I know that their skills scare the living daylights out of me, and I'm not scared of anything, but their skills, I'm like, you know what, I don't want to know what you're doing at all. Do not tell me. Do not tell me at all. But there are people out there like that, and the simplest things may trigger them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a jerk. If you're not a jerk, usually
Yeah,
people don't
yeah.
people don't mess with you. Like
That's right.
for the most part. If you're not a jerk, people don't mess with you.
It's generally true. Yeah, if you're just like generally just like kind and amicable online, stuff like that, like people are generally pretty chill. But it's really the minute you start stirring stuff up, like you do summon like things from like the depths of the internet, and it is kind of crazy to think about, because it's just like I think sometimes of like summoning, because it's like through the digital world, all of a sudden crazy things happen in the physical world, and you're just like, I don't know how this happened, but here we are.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Very disruptive.
So the world we live in. It's the
That's
world
right.
we live in.
We do fight criminals too, so it's like, it's like gotta deal with the criminals, then you got all the people who aren't criminals but gonna go after people anyways. And, it's just like, well, I guess that's just people.
Yeah.
Which is why I'll just say this: it's good to unplug every now and then and get away from all your digital gadgets and just get away from it. I assure you, people are still hacking you while you're gone, so that's fine. It's still going to happen, but at least you can mentally, get a break. Going back to mental health a little bit. It's good to take that break away from, like some days I leave my phone, in another room and I forget all about it. It's so great. Of course, I'm still on like a laptop or something, but it's good to get at least one electronic device away from you and just enjoy life a little bit. And sometimes we forget how nice things were for those of us old enough to remember like the 1990s. For others out there, they're like, well, I was born in like 2000, whatever. But for many of us, we remember the 90s and 80s and long before everything we have these days, where we still had to like go play outside and things like that. It was good back then. It was good having that break from tech, and with things like the metaverse, of course, we're going even more tech. We're why not, right? Let's push for that. So, real quick, I'm actually moderating a panel next week at the Gatherverse Summit. For those that didn't know, for those watching that didn't know that, so it's a good thing. It's all about the metaverse and Gatherverse, hence the name Gatherverse. But Chris, I forget his last name off the top of my head, but really good guy out in California, put it on. So check that out next week. You can just go to my LinkedIn and find that post somewhere on there in the depths of the LinkedIn world. But good stuff. Good panel with Asta, Saman, and bless you.
Thank you.
I say that even though I'm not religious, but that's just a thing we say in the U.S. Bless you.
I always think of that Seinfeld
Gesundheit
episode.
or whatever.
You're so good looking. Why do we tell everyone, God bless you? Just say you're so good looking instead.
Man, I'm gonna have to go look up that episode. I don't remember that one now.
Yeah,
Priorities.
it's a classic.
Gonna have to find it.
Note to self. Great show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta be entertained in life. I mean, that's
Speaking of like before the internet, I saw a GIF the other day that was like Jerry Seinfeld, like in his Seinfeld apartment, like on a computer. I was like, gosh, I forgot he even like had a computer in his apartment.
Oh, I saw it.
I think there's like one episode where he uses it.
Well,
You guys remember when gateway computers were the rage?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Laura, you noticed that Office that you're like, that's The Office. There's like this hilarious meme from The Office. Anyways, The Office is funny enough
It's
already.
like one
making a
line
meme
from
it.
The Office, and I was like, that's from The Office. Seinfeld and
The best.
The Office are two shows that I can probably identify from like a line or two.
It's good stuff.
Good show. Both good shows, though.
Yeah.
Both really good shows. I actually missed the boat on The Office when it was running like live or whatever. And someone introduced me. I think it was my wife introduced me to it, and I watched one episode. And like I literally spent an entire weekend watching almost every episode of The Office. Like it was fantastic. Fantastic. Time well invested.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
No, it's definitely one of those shows that I watched it with my family, like when it was on, and then they put it on. It used to be on Netflix, and so I was always like, I used to call it like my comfort food of television. If I just needed something to like,
Gotta have some of those shows.
something light to put on and enjoy. I think a lot of people understand that sentiment. So.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And we have a bad I don't know how to say this best, but basically a bad aura, if you will, in cybersecurity, that like you constantly, like if you look at LinkedIn especially, my gosh, you'll feel like you do nothing in life. You'll feel like you've accomplished nothing. Like I look on there and I'm like, my God, people have 97 certifications, 24 college degrees. Like every time you look on there, if you're consuming content, you're like, my gosh, I do nothing. Like, and you could be a brain surgeon, but like, you're like, I've accomplished nothing in my life. If you just look at social media. So I think it's important to understand that it's okay to have it out. It's okay. It's okay to watch TV if you want to, like Netflix or whatever. It's okay to binge watch stuff on a weekend and do nothing else that weekend.
Yeah.
Of course, if you have kids, like feed your kids, please. But like, like there's nothing wrong with taking a break and reading a book or like just literally sitting and doing nothing. I mean, I do that from time to time. I just like binge watch something and I do nothing. I'm like, well, I've got a lot of things I need to do, but like, screw it.
But it's like if you're lacking that motivation, Nathan and I talk about this a lot actually. Like if like I'll wake up and be like, I just have like no motivation today. And yeah, of course there are certain things you have to get done on like a daily basis and certain like job tasks that you have to do whether you feel like doing them or not. But there are also some days where it's just like
not gonna do
just
anything.
listen to that. Like if you're not feeling motivated, then maybe it means that you need to take a break and just, recharge and refresh. And however you do that, whether it's like going for a run or a hike or, reading a book or binge watching The Office for like the 10,000th time, whatever it does to like
I feel like you're, Laura, I feel like you're admitting to something there on that last one.
Maybe a little bit.
Priorities.
It's not on Netflix anymore though, so I had to like start rewatching Seinfeld again.
Netflix ruined Laura's life because they were like, we're taking The Office down, so it's like now.
Well, no, but
how are you going
they
to not
replaced
be
it with
stressed
Seinfeld,
anymore?
so
okay,
now I'm watching Seinfeld
We're good enough.
again.
We're good enough. It's a thing though, because I think about this is like I don't. Well, so this sounds strange. I have a condition that makes my body react more to like cortisol than most people, and so I'm like hypersensitive to like if I'm feeling stressed, it'll like wreck me in ways that other people it doesn't necessarily impact the same way. But the perspective it kind of helps me understand is if you want to be as productive as possible, saying no and then pumping the brakes to let your body cool down the stress, like go find de-stressors, go find something that sucks the stress away rather than going and like, oh, I'm not getting this study done or this application, I'm getting these bugs or these errors. Sometimes like if you just take a break and like let those stress levels sink, then you'll find that like your productivity doesn't just double or triple or 10 times. You might literally suddenly be able to do something in a day that when you're burnt out, you barely can maybe do in a month. And so, if you want to be as productive as possible, take breaks, go recharge your brain, go find something that you're into. Mm-hmm. Like if your thought is, oh, I never have motivation, that could just mean that you're not recharging yourself and investing enough in yourself, because to have motivation, you have to put something in the tank to let that motivation mm-hmm. exist. Otherwise, of course, you're not gonna be motivated. People can be angry sometimes if it's like, hey, I missed that thing, or I just didn't turn that in today. But then if people look at like your long-term performance, be like, how do you get so much done? It's like, cool down sometimes.
Well, I think that's actually a good message right there for any leadership out there. Is what I do is I hire very smart people that are very, very good at what they do and give them room to do the thing. I think what I've seen out there is a lot of leadership, and I guess I'll say more managers than leadership, but more managers constantly want like that daily milestone. And I think that there's a lot of people out there, and I would make a blanket statement and say the vast majority of people out there in the world don't function on like a daily task list. Like we're not as humans, like, I mean, the task list back in the day, right, was me caveman, me get food, like that was the task. You get food and then you go to bed. Hopefully you got some food. Otherwise you're hungry, you try again tomorrow. And hopefully at some point you get food or you die off, one of those two. But I think there's a lot of stuff, especially in corporate America. I know we have international audience, but especially in corporate America of you better hit these things every single day. But really, what are they doing in the week? Like what's the actual goal for, say, the week or even the month or quarter or whatever? Like That's really where leadership should be focused on,
Mm-hmm.
because there's certain personalities. I'm world famous for this. Well, at least world famous in my own mind. But like in college, I wrote all my papers at the last minute. Like I did 3 papers. I think I either did it in an hour or like 20 minutes or something like that. But I had 3 papers due before midnight, and I wrote them all. I got A's on all of them, of course. And but I did like nothing for, I think I had, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks to write them. I did nothing for all that. But then when it came down to the wire, that's just how I'm built. You have to know yourself a lot, but that's how I'm built. Like if it's like, oh, we got to get this done, like I get it done. But if it's like, oh, you got 3 months, I'm going to like be 2 months and, 28 days in, and, last day or whatever the month, I want to be cranking that stuff out and get it all done. And it'll be really, really awesome. But like, that's how I function. There's a lot of people out there like me that function like that, where just give them the broader objectives and give them the room to do the thing. Because when you do it like that, you find that people come with some of the most creative ideas you've never heard of, because you never thought of them, because they're in their brain, not yours. But they had to have that free time or that free space to kind of flesh those things out, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. And I think that's for those out there that are either looking at getting into leadership roles, or those out there currently in them that are maybe wondering why people don't get stuff done. Give them some room to breathe. Just set those kind of high level tasks. Say, this is what we need to get done. Figure it out, right? And then kind of guide them where they need it. But otherwise, let them just hire the best people. Let them do their thing, and you'll be really surprised what happens. Hopefully in a positive way. Hopefully not in a negative way. But I think you'll be pleasantly surprised on what happens when you do that.
I think that's great advice, especially as, we've been the CEO of Cloud Underground for about a year now. I think that's like totally my leadership style. Is I'm very hands off. I'm like, all right, we meet as little as possible, because I think too many meetings is a huge time suck and a huge waste of time. And and so I think it's important to me, it is important to like be on the same page with the team. But that's why, teams collaboration tools can be really important, and chatting and like keeping in touch that way. But, meeting when it's important and not overly. And then, just like letting people, do what they need to do. And I think it also takes off when you are, and this, I don't know, this might be inaccurate, but in my experience, and also coming from, from the side of being an employee as well, I think when you have that space, when you give people that space, they're also a little more willing to be open with you with how their progress is coming and how things are, coming along. I almost feel like if you micromanage people too much, they're like not you don't give them the space to tell you what they need even. So
they kind of go into protective mode, like, oh no, they're constantly looking at everything I'm doing, so
True.
let me just shut down and tell them a little bit here, a little bit there. I think you nailed also another good point there, Laura, of meetings. My goodness, corporate America, stop with the damn meetings. I don't know if I can curse, but I'm gonna.
It's okay.
Stop with the damn meetings already. Like literally, we've got. Let's say your company uses Microsoft stuff, right? So you've got Microsoft Teams, you've got email. A lot of places have Slack. They've probably got a Discord, or some other type of thing. Why do you have a bunch of meetings on the calendar if people can, like, why can't people just do a quick message back and forth on something? Oh, okay. Nato, I was confused on something, Nathan or Laura, on this thing. I shoot them a quick message. I don't need a meeting with them to talk about it, because the problem with meetings is oftentimes when we have meetings, unless we're very rigid on what we're doing, whether it's Scrum or Agile or whatever your company's using to kind of manage project management stuff, or the methodology. But unless we're very stringent on the meeting, what we find is that all of a sudden everyone wants to just like have a chat. Like,
oh yeah,
sorry, we're not in high school. We're here to get a job done, right? So like, why there should never like meetings running over, things like that. This is across like all sorts of companies in corporate, and I say corporate America, but really around the world, because it's not just isolated to the US. But like, if we've got all these channels of communication, why in the hell are we having so many meetings? Like, it could be an email, it could be a chat message. We do not need to be on a call and also have that call run over. Like a meeting should never run over. There's no reason for it to run over. Schedule, if you want to have brainstorming sessions, twice a week. That's all you should ever. That's a max for any company. I don't care how big you are. Twice a week, brainstorming sessions. Everyone knows it's a brainstorming session. So guess what? Everyone actually shows up with all the crap they want to talk about instead of like off the top of their head and stuff like that and making things run over. And then every other meeting should be execution. If you have a meeting, it should be execution 99.9% of the time. If we can't walk away doing something, it's a waste of time. It really is. I just want to kind of add some stuff to your point there, Laura. Like, if we've got all these communication tools, why the hell am I checking Slack and my email and all this stuff while I'm on meetings all day long or something? Like, I mean, it makes no sense. I see all of you. Why are you sending me an email? Like, if we're on a meeting, tell me then. So
and you can't, you just can't get anything done either when you're stuck in meetings. It's like they want you to work beside you spend all morning in a meeting, and then you have like a few minutes of work, and then you have to like jump into another meeting. You're not getting anything done because you're just jumping like meeting to meeting to meeting. So your focus time to actually work is like gone. And we cannot multitask as humans, contrary to what everyone else tries to sell you online or whatever.
I agree with that.
You focus on one thing, right? So it's the meeting, and then usually there's got to be a little downtime between them, and usually there's not, right? It's meeting. You focus on one thing. Now you may have different things happening, but one major thing you're really focused on, and there's a concept I always share called the circle of focus. If you just draw a circle on a piece of paper, or with a drawing tool or whatever, but drawing with your hand, old school, usually works best. Put down the things you do during the day in there, right? And say, okay, I check Slack, I check email. You're going to be dividing the pie up. So it's up to you if you want a full pie and have a full belly, or if you want to have like little pieces of the pie and have yourself distracted all over the place. But when you use that circle of focus concept for anything in life, not just meetings and stuff, when you use it like that'll help you focus on a lot of things, whether it's certifications. Instead of you studying for 12 certs at the same freaking time, study for one, get that cert. Because right now you're having 12 certs you're studying for and you're getting none of them done. So you focus on that. If you're learning something new, business, that's a critical place to have the circle of focus, because everyone wants your time. What's important? Well, sales and marketing. That's all that matters. No one gives a damn about your logo. Nobody, I assure you, no one. I've literally never had anyone come up to me, however the communication, and say, man, I was just about to buy from you, Ken, but your logo. It's never happened. It's never happened.
True, yeah.
It's never happened.
So
I've been
true.
in business a long time, had a lot of companies.
Yeah.
It's never happened. It has never, ever happened. So for business owners out there, sales and marketing, that's it. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. That's the two things that you should be 50% of your time sales, 50% marketing. That's it. That's the only two. If it's not producing income, it's not for you. Now, as you grow your business, right, and you hire people, things like that, of course, right, you can get fancier and delegate things, whatever, but like your focus should only be on those two things as a business owner. And the circle of focus, again, just draw a circle, start dividing it up on the things you're spending your time on, and you're going to realize, oh, maybe I need to cut out television 2 days a week so I can focus on certain things, right? And maybe I need to say, to your point, Nathan, earlier, I need to say no. 2022 is my year of being a selfish bastard. I'm saying that in all the podcasts and stuff I go on. I am a selfish bastard this year because I'm saying no to a lot of things. I'm not doing all the guest appearances I used to do. I'm very selective with my things, and it's not because I'm a jerk. Well, partly, but it's not really because I'm a jerk. It's because you deserve to be selfish. For anyone watching this, you deserve to be selfish. You cannot. I think we talked about earlier. Kind of, you got to recharge yourself, right? When we're talking about, focus on certain things. Got to recharge yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So you can't help anybody else if you're constantly drained of your energy. So I think you have to be selfish. You have to be selective. Yes, we all want to help everybody in the world, but let's be realistic. If I get on a phone call with everybody, I'm limited on who I can help to share my knowledge or wisdom with. But if I create a course and just drop it out there online, I can help a lot of people. And they all get the same value as, maybe not quite as much value if they're on the phone with me and I can individually tailor it, but still I'm helping a lot of people, with that. So be selfish in 2022 and beyond, be selfish with your time. That's my
Oh, yeah.
advice for anyone out there.
I think that's great advice. Yeah, I think everyone just got a little like business crash course there.
Now's a perfect time to introduce
Sales marketing.
Sales marketing. Say no.
And
to
say
things.
no.
Get
Truth,
your
Say
time
no.
back.
No
Sell a
sales marketing.
course. Okay.
And
there
a
you go.
little example where Ken directly practices what he preaches is that over the past 2 weeks, a new application has been magically fabricated through basically just discussions, mostly discussions and prioritization, and it's called the CyberLife Torpedo. And I'll tell you a little story about how this came to be, because for the most part, we have all these dojo members, they're doing all these things, and then, the other day, Ken was just like, what if we didn't need servers to be able to just like do certain things? And then it turned into, hey, different members of the dojo, what if we made this thing? And then the dojo members were like, I want that. And then 2 weeks later, we now have a new application. It was very largely made by dojo members. And for those of you who are involved in actually making the CyberLife Torpedo, it's basically an S3 bucket that's modular and portable. And not just dojo members, there are other folks who have pitched in from outside of the dojo, from the Pied Hacker Experience days. So we even have old Pied Hacker Experience graduates who are on to bigger, better things, running companies, who also contributed to making this thing, because they're like, what? I want that. I want that now. And so 2 weeks ago, it's just a conversation really between us. And then the next thing you know, everyone's like, we're gonna make it. And so the CyberLife Torpedo, it is part of something that we've been working on for a long time, which back in 2018, I started working on something called the Assault Grid that turned into the Olympiad. The Olympiad is a core stack that I use, and we have this program called the Pied Hacker Experience that I made around the Olympiad. And then it's designed for making IPs. That's what it's really designed for making like cloud IPs and things like that. And so the dojo, we built something called the Underground Nexus, which once again, that is also a pretty much dojo member built thing. Dojo members talk about things that they want, they wish they could do, they wish they had. And we teach DevSecOps. What do we do when we teach DevSecOps? We have people make something real. We don't do certifications in the dojo. We make real apps. We make real software, and we release it and we sell it. We actually are about to monetize some of these new things that the dojo members made, because we believe in teaching dojo members like how to build a living and all that stuff by actually putting themselves to work, and then with their own hands and their own skills generating their living with their own code, with their own work. And that's what it's all about. And so I guess, Ken, all that talk to, how many meetings did we have to have over the past 2 weeks across, and how many dojo members did you talk to for the CyberLife Torpedo to fabricate?
Yeah, so I just want to stress 0 meetings, at least that I can recall. It was just chat message. It was just some chatting back and forth, right? So for companies out there, you can just chat with people back and forth and get things done. Magic. Whoa, crazy thoughts. Crazy thoughts.
Magic.
So yeah, that, and I mean, I really didn't, the idea, came to fruition, and I just kind of let people do their thing. I really, I do motivational posts, every now and then, thumb up or whatever like that. But really, credit to Nathan and Laura. They've been really managing the build out with the dojo members and others. It's like I said, I'm very hands off with my leadership style. If I, and not saying I'm the leader in this situation, but like I let people do their thing, and I don't step in the way, and wherever I can contribute, I try to help out, but otherwise I stayed out of the way. I let people do their thing because I don't want to be the blocker in the way. And like I said, I did a lot of thumbs up, like, oh, that's awesome, great job, fist pump or whatever.
That's right.
But I let people just go through, and and especially the QA process and everything. I mean, I just let it magically happen. And again, 0 meetings. We did not get on any calls. We just chatted a little here and there. Nathan and others gave me some updates here and there. I was like, cool. That was like my response, excellent or cool or whatever. I mean, I'm a man of few words on that stuff. And, here we are, with something really, really awesome that, number one, the dojo members were able to help build out. And, these are real skill sets, as you mentioned, not a certification, not paying some cert body annual fees or whatever. These are real skills that people around the world, not just in the US, but around the world, where they may not have the same opportunities as us here in the US. Now they do. Now they can build things for global companies and make money and put their families in a much better position, and maybe even get out of their home country if that's what they want to do, and move someplace else, because they've been able to put hands on keyboard and actually build things like this. So it's one thing that the dojo, that I love about the dojo, and why I was happy to partner up with everyone, is that you're not just like educating people. You're actually changing lives. You're helping people, and you're not giving people things, right? And that's a big difference. Like, you can give people stuff all day long. I assure you, they're not going to appreciate it. Most won't. But you're teaching them to do the things, and that's really helping them empower. And it's a flood effect, right? Or a domino effect, I guess is the way you'd say it, where those people are going to teach others, right? And several of them are already teaching others. They've started their own companies, and they're mentoring people, they're building up their own teams and everything like that. And so it's that domino effect of delivering value to the world, because there's a ton of people that talk a big game on social media about let's change things, but they're just trying to get likes, follows, or trying to sell you a course or whatever. And then there's others of us that you really don't hear from behind the scenes. I mean, you hear from us on social media. Of course, I'm always on there, talking trash, but you don't hear what we're working on. And then every so often you hear something big like this that we've worked on that is really helping change things for people, right? There's no venture capital here. There are no investors here. It's us, right? And by us, I mean people in the industry, people trying to get into the industry. It's us working together, helping each other, and working to make the world a little bit better place, and give people opportunities that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise had, without worrying about investors, without worrying about shareholder, dividends and all that other crap. We can take it upon ourselves, especially these days, to help each other. And that's really what we have to do, because one of my biggest pet peeves on LinkedIn is that whole commenting for visibility crap. Sorry, that does not work. That doesn't help anybody. I know you have good intentions, for those out there that are like commenting for visibility. That's nice. What might help more is you share that post right on your profile, right? Yep. So I'm not going to knock that, but like, share the post and say, hey, Jennifer is trying to find a job. Let's try to help her out, because you don't know who's looking at your profile, right? So maybe that will help. But just commenting on their post or commenting for visibility, that doesn't help crap. Sorry. They may get a lot of likes, but they'll also get 1,000 comments of commenting for visibility. No, like take more, like actually take action, right? I know, again, I'm not saying this to like knock anybody, right? Or kick you down, but like, I'm just saying this to say, like, I understand you have good intentions with that, but like, let's take a little more action. Let's actually do some action that's going to be beneficial, sharing the post or reaching out to a company. Or if you see a job posting that person mentioned they're looking for a cybersecurity analyst role, and you see next week that they've got that role someplace, just tag that person's name real quick, right? It's all it is. And sometimes that's all it takes, especially like when I do that. Like if someone reaches out and said, hey, I'm looking for this job, it might be 2 weeks later, but that person's in the back of my mind. I see a post about something, I tag their name, all of a sudden they have a job interview. And that's happened a lot. But that's really what helps on social media, not commenting for visibility. I just wanted to say that anytime I get on a live or something, I want to say that, because I understand it's got good intentions behind it, but like, it doesn't work. Let's do things that work to help each other. Because I know the intentions there, that everyone wants to kind of help each other and things like that, but let's do it the right way. Let's do that.
Definitely.
But that was, again, I went off into tangent there, but going back to the dojo stuff, I really like the aspect of, it's empowering people to build skill sets, to share their skills with the world, and actually build real skills they can use to either benefit a company if they want to go work in a company and that's what they want to do. There's nothing wrong with that, right? If that's what they want to do. But it also empowers them if they want to start their own thing and make money that way, they can do so, as opposed to you getting CompTIA Security Plus. Or CEH or CISSP, or, I mean, the cert bodies, I want to say I'm not going to knock them, but I'm going to knock them a little with this statement. It's nice. I think there's value there. It gives you knowledge, stuff like that. But like, you do not need to pay thousands of dollars for a certification when you can prove you can do the skill. If you can prove you can do the skill, I don't know any hiring managers, and there's probably some idiots out there. There always are. There always are. But all the hiring managers that I personally know, none of them care about your certifications. None of them. They don't care about college degrees. They don't care about certifications. Can you do the job, or do you have the potential, ability and aptitude to do the job? And if yes, if you check those boxes, then guess what? You're getting an interview.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it works. You're getting an interview. Talking about career advice real quick. It's going way out of left field here, way away from the dojo and the Cyber Life Torpedo. We'll go back to that here. Career advice for those looking to get cybersecurity roles. Everyone's trying to be a SOC analyst and pen tester. Everybody. So you can compete against everybody, or you could be like someone recently. I won't mention her name, but she was like, I'm open to anything. So I said, check out this sales role, this SDR role. And she got a job making a good base salary starting out. I mean, this is entry level. Well, this is a good base salary. I was like, oh, that's really good, actually. That's actually what you would make as a SOC analyst, starting out, actually even a little more in some cases. But she took that role. The interview process was smooth. I mean, she got the job within a matter of weeks instead of years, like some people.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's with a company that does, security stuff. So she's getting trained up on their product suite, and she's going to be making a lot of, she's going to be putting in front of a lot of big companies as part of this. And I mean, so for those out there looking for jobs right now, if you're frustrated, you're like, I'm not getting any calls back, I'm throwing out 1,000 resumes, whatever. Look at sales roles for cybersecurity product companies, and by product, I mean, it could be like Splunk, places like that. It could also be products like lab providers out there. So a lot of different jobs out there that are open, and also marketing. So sales, marketing.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about that. That sounds familiar, right? We talked about that. Sales, marketing for business. So those are a couple of areas to look at. And there's nothing wrong with starting there. And in 6 months, going to that SOC role or that pen tester role that you want. But at least now you've got experience, you've got branding, you've got credibility, right? You've got all these things that you didn't have right now. So just FYI on that. But back to other things, Cyber Life Torpedo, which, by the way, is such a cool name, isn't it? It's like I'm fulfilling my dream of being in Star Trek, right? Like Cyber Life Torpedo. And by the way, awesome image work there, Nato, with the little. It looked like a Klingon bird of prey for the image that you did. I'm hoping that's what it was. That's what it looked like to me. So art is just about interpretation.
Right.
Everyone's individual interpretation.
Oh yeah.
Great job on that. But
I didn't
the Cyber
draw
Life
it.
Torpedo.
Someone else did the drawing.
Well, I was trying to give you credit, but that's okay.
I did meme it though.
And that's all that matters,
That's
right?
all
Who
that
cares? It's you've got the original like Picasso, but if I take a crayon and draw a smiley face on there, that adds a lot of value to a Picasso.
Oh yeah, it's not a
Definitely,
Klingon bird of prey. It's
definitely
Cyber
adding
Life,
value.
and it's not a Klingon torpedo. It's a Cyber Life torpedo.
Yeah, Cyberlife bird of prey. We're still working on the cloaking device. It's a little buggy right now. We've got to debug that. It's not quite there as the Klingons, but
Still in
we'll get there.
development, yeah.
We'll get there.
Priorities. It'll happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just hoping we're hoping no solar flares knock it out like they did Elon Musk satellites. So we're hoping that the bird of prey stays afloat out there near the sun.
Yeah, just like lets you like catapult your server to be wherever the end users are. It's technically an edge server technology. So if it doesn't need servers because it's all edge. For anyone who doesn't know what edge is, Google Microsoft or Xbox Cloud Gaming or whatever. Xbox Cloud Gaming, I'm sure it'll pull it up. They have this new cloud gaming thing, and you can like plug in an Xbox controller into whatever computer you're using and then just start playing Xbox using your own Xbox account and everything. Stream it like Netflix. It's Xbox though. How did they do it? How do they make it so that the latency is not terrible and terrifying and all these things? Edge. That's edge computing. We've been working with edge computing for a long time. I'm a huge fan of it because if you don't have to pay for servers, that's the part that costs the millions for companies. Cut out the servers and you just have the same experience that you otherwise need servers for, just spending a lot less money. Buy thousands, millions, hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
You
Same
know, the
outcomes.
other good the other good news is for those out there leveraging technology like this is if there are really Martians, you can actually start selling them services. They can pay for hosting, so you could be the first one with Martians paying for your hosting.
Wow.
Now, if they hack you, I'm not
Priorities.
responsible, by the way.
I mean, we have been trying to break into space, so maybe Martians are where we need to get. We need to crack into the alien market.
We
the
are launching
extraterrestrial market.
space underground soon, but that's a complex venture that's going to take another year to get off the ground. Engineering satellite communications and stuff for like comms and things like space stations, rockets.
Long-term goals.
Yeah, ground sites, rocket
The
science.
the fun stuff. The fun
Yeah.
stuff. The fun stuff.
Using Kubernetes for rocket science. Literally, Kubernetes for rocket science. Scientific Linux is a thing, by the way, if you didn't know it. Look up FPGA, Field Programmable Gate Arrays, and Scientific Linux, and get to work.
Especially if you're brand new entry level. Get out there and
Oh
just
yeah,
beginners,
for sure.
you know,
dive right into that.
Just
Yeah.
do
Right
it.
to your face.
Yes.
Plus Kubernetes. Even more
Oh
terrifying.
yeah.
Oh
God.
no.
We
So
all get
scary.
headaches just from Kubernetes. Oh my God. It's all good though. It's all
Kuber
good.
migraine.
That's a thing. That's a legit thing. I've heard some doctors diagnosing it with
Kubernetes migraines.
It was like, how come your migraines won't go away? We're like, we've tried like the headache medicine and all that stuff, and it just won't go away. And it's like, it's been using Kubernetes, and then they're like, oh,
Oh,
those.
yeah,
All right.
Yes. We have no treatment, sir. Sorry.
Oh man,
Like, but I
The good
can't
stuff.
stop. I can't stop using Kubernetes.
I can't stop. I need to know more about it. But the more I learn about it, the less I think I
It
know.
won't go away.
I real quick, just back on the dojo, for companies watching this out there, if you need, small business owners, even if you need like apps and whatnot, the dojo members, I don't know what they'll charge, but get connected with Nathan and Laura. They can put you in touch with people based off, what you're looking for. And I assure you, it's going to be lower cost than you'd go to like some big company trying to get something done. So check with that. And, again, really skilled individuals from what I've
that's
seen.
a great point. We do have.
We got a question. Speaking of which, skilled things is what's the dojo, and do I need some experience to check it out?
Yeah, so the DevSecops Dojo is our online community where we teach a lot of these skills that we're always talking about. And it's primarily a Discord server that we have. You can join it by going to our website, cloudunderground.dev. Along the top of our homepage, there's a little tab button that says DevSecops Dojo. So you can just click on that. And it'll give you all the information that you need. And it's free to join. So go and hop in and join. And we do have to Ken's point that he was just making, we do have we are within that group recruiting, people who have, good job skills, who can, take on position or can take on essentially, help me out. I got distracted by my phone stuff.
Skills?
They can essentially take on contracts if you need something
that's right.
developed. If you need,
That's right.
Sorry, there was like music coming out of my phone. So we've got some people that we are mobilizing for those sorts of kind of side contracts
And to go
side gigs to help people get like hands-on skills and build their careers essentially.
And to go with it, because there's the question of like, do I have to know how to code? The way we're setting it up is we're building, there are going to be projects that you do have to be technical for. So if you're taking like a one-person project, then you probably do need to have some general technical skills. But one of the things that we're building is full-on what are called drop squads. And the purpose of a drop squad is we make the general assumption, it kind of goes back to also what Ken's talking about, is in order for like any company or business to generally work is you need marketing and sales. If you don't have those two elements, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're trying. It doesn't matter how good your code is. None of it matters. So we build teams of 4 where at least 1, if not 2 people need to have some form of like willingness to do the sales and the marketing, or the whole project is almost guaranteed to fail, because that's just business for real. And then that way, then people who don't like code can unite with those who do like code. Where if you join a drop squad, once we start building these out, we're piloting the drop squad program. It's probably going to be closer to like November that we make that a little more public for like open audience to join. But you can talk to us, and we would be open to maybe looking at situating people into drop squads in like 2 or 3 months, a little early. But either way, if you're not technical, then we're going to be launching these drop squads where you can join and have like 2 technical people with you, at least, if not 3 technical people with you, and then use your, the power of your voice and the power of your ability to market and sell to empower the entire developer team, because the developers are helpless without that. They might have the best skills on this planet Earth, and without your voice as the non-technical person, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good they are. And so really everyone is needed. It's just the truth. That's why there's that saying like teamwork makes the dream work. Really though, you need different people who do different things, who have different, things. You need the person who might be like an introverted coder who does nothing but code. Then that person needs someone who's going to be like a front face, who's going to sit there and make sure that people get the conversation. So we're going to be focusing on that, and so that's an element to go with it. So you don't need to be technical to join the dojo. You can focus on being marketing or sales oriented to help people who are coders. You just have to like coders if you don't like coding. So if you don't like coding, you still have to like
You got to make friends with
coders.
some coders. That's which you will be able to do in the DevSecops Dojo Discord server. So get on over there.
Guess the cloud underground's not so underground anymore, I guess. We're breaking our rule by marketing.
It's on the edge.
That's right.
On Fridays.
Well, anyway, just a reminder to everyone while we're as to why we're here tonight. Of course, we're kicking off our CyberLife live stream event where we're going to be binge watching every episode of the CyberLife television show that Ken here is the host of. We're starting that tomorrow at noon on NATO's on the NATO is Code YouTube channel. We're taking over the Cybersecurity Radio live stream. So if you see that live stream that's constantly going on the NATO is Code channel, just click into that at noon tomorrow, and you'll be able to binge with us all. I think it was like 19 episodes of the Cyber Life tomorrow. So these are just the episodes that are here and out at this point. There are more to come. Ken's constantly recruiting new guests and working on new topics and creating new episodes. So
and this is the beginning of the binge. Is this right here, just sitting and binging
what better
with us.
thing to do on a Saturday? Like Ken was saying earlier, it's all family friendly content. Watch with your kids. It's never too early to learn the basics of cybersecurity. So
Order some pizza, have some friends over.
That's the key right there. Order a little pizza, then the friends will naturally come over. You'll be like,
Yes.
"Who are you?" You're like, all right, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So to clarify for the audience, so what time zone, just so everyone knows?
yeah, it's going to be starting at noon Mountain Time.
Yeah.
So,
That's right. So
11 Pacific or 2 p.m. if you're on the East Coast.
That's right.
Cool.
It's happening. Priorities. It should be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We're super excited. And thanks. And we're all going to be in the chats tomorrow. So we're just going to mainly be watching the episodes, and we'll be just chatting with whoever wants to drop in and join us.
Yeah.
It'll be super fun.
Learn and get entertained. All the good stuff. Priorities.
Yeah.
Priorities, yeah. So for those watching this, all those tasks you had on your agenda for the weekend, just ignore them. Feeding the kids, all that stuff, just whatever. I need to focus on binge watching CyberLife on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. This is bumping all your other priorities down. Move to the top of the list. CyberLife Marathon.
That's right.
the best. The things that you've been missing out on that you will no longer miss out on. Unless you miss this, then I think that the recording lets you go back at least 12 hours. I think it might just be like 12 hours. So
I don't know, I'll have to look at the settings.
you can go back if you aren't directly on time, as long as you catch it within like 12 hours, then you won't just completely miss the binge. So if you're like 4 or 5 hours late, you can just go back.
If you're
in
4 or 5
the
hours late,
stream.
you can just catch it in the middle too, you know.
Well,
And
but if they want to see the
always-
beginning, they can.
Well, yeah, for sure. I also want to say that, like, you know, we can always do this again if we enjoy it and have a good time, and if Ken lets us.
Yeah,
in the future.
and if you miss everything, like if you sleep in or something, you totally miss everything, then the good news is, since we're using the terminology binge, you can download the Binge Networks app on your phone or mobile device and just binge watch the show from there too.
There you go. Yeah.
So there's a lot of
Yeah.
options, you know, or, you know, find it on like I said, like 150 streaming channels, Roku, Amazon, you know, all the big fancy names. As long as you've got like a streaming device, you can also watch it there too, or you can just put the app on your phone.
Go borrow your parents'
Yeah.
Apple TV.
Yeah, they won't mind.
Run
Whatever
They
you
gotta-
need to do.
If
Bring
you
it back.
order the pizza, give them half. It's a barter, right? You used to barter back in the day. It's a barter. Give them
right.
half the pizza. You can take their TV for the weekend. It's all good.
Oh yeah,
And it gets you out of the basement too, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
at your parents' house.
yeah. You know, you got to be comfortable. You got to feel where it's just right for the viewing.
That's right. The dark, dingy basement with the weird smell. You don't know what it is. You know, and you got to have your hacker gloves on.
The
and
Cheeto
a few
dust.
neon lights blinking around.
Yeah. A hoodie.
That's
Put on your hoodie.
yeah. The hoodie's critical. It sets the mood, right? Even put some sunglasses on for extra effect.
Even
That
if your
will,
basement's pitch black, just you gotta wear your sunglasses.
Yeah, sunglasses. You don't want to go blind, so put those sunglasses on. You never know if mom might come down to the basement, flick the light on or something. You can't risk it. It's
filtering
all
out
about
that blue
risk
light.
reduction.
Might have to like clean the Dorito dust and all that stuff off the keyboard and all those things.
I don't know, man. That adds flavor to it, literally. So
That's true. You know, if you're typing enough and you've got enough stuff in the keyboard, every time you type, then it's like an extra flavor. If you have like a bag of chips nearby, and it's like those plain potato chips are suddenly kind of like Doritos almost, because the keyboard's just covered in it. It's good stuff.
I feel like you're reliving a moment.
Yeah.
The gamer gunk. No, there was some like YouTube video. It was like, get your gamer gunk. If you want to know about gamer gunk, go to YouTube and just type gamer gunk. I don't remember where it's from or what. There's probably multiples.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about, so.
That's why I'm saying people got to just go to YouTube and type gamer gunk, or they won't know either. And then you'll understand. Your
There you
custom
go.
built
I-
gaming PC.
You may start to get, if you don't have like, you know, cookies blocked, or you're not using, you know, Brave browser or something like that, you may start to see some interesting ads start pulling up just by searching for gamer gunk on YouTube. You know, across the web as you go around.
Yes.
Might be some interesting things. One time I searched for tactical bacon on Amazon, and you know, at that time I wasn't the cyber guy, so I let everything track me, and
Yeah.
some interesting
Amazing.
things you find, and interesting things that find you. when you
Yes.
search for things
Follow
like
you
that.
around the internet and just pop up when you're least expecting.
Yes, you're like, what the heck's this? Where'd this come from?
You know, people have asked me in the past, why do I have a bunch of different accounts on like that I use on the internet and stuff? Because people have noticed I have a whole bunch of them. Every single account that I have gives me a different experience based on my tracking on the internet. And if you understand your own data well enough, you can create. So like Google makes it easy to do that, because you can have a bunch of Gmail accounts and they're free, or other things like that let you have stuff like that. And literally every single account, you can make it to where this one gives you specific ads for certain things you particularly like to buy, and you only click on certain things with that account, so that the ads just summon exactly what you like to you all the time on that account. I do stuff like that. People wonder, how do I find certain things?
It's kind of
on certain
a lot of
accounts.
work
Just
for
being
like a
random.
customized ad experience, though.
But it's so convenient. Everything just
Yeah.
comes to me. I don't even have to
Just
look for
comes.
it or discover it. It's
Right.
just
He
comes
made
to
it.
the
That's
right
why.
account.
That's why he gets the early Girl Scout cookies. 'Cause they just flow. They just flow to him. Everyone else is waiting for the box, but
That's right.
it just flows his way.
Girl Scouts now sell NFT cookies. I didn't even know that was a thing.
What?
I'm telling you, with all this, because I have one account where I'm trying to understand
so
like the
why would I
blockchain
want to
stuff
buy
out
an
there.
NFT cookie?
An
NFT Girl Scout cookie.
It's got all that juicy metadata, right? I mean, this one would, well, it says he'll eat it. Oh, it's gonna eat my
well,
headphones.
now, but with the NFT, if you right click and save the image, you could then put that to your 3D printer and print out an edible version.
Sure.
So
Okay.
it's all about how much work are you willing to put in for that Girl Scout cookie.
To work with Jordan on getting some edible cookie filament. Start printing our own Girl
we
Scout
could 3D print
cookies.
food and then ship it out to people. I don't know if it'll be any good, but I went to IKEA and they had some like 3D printed meatballs. Apparently, they're made out of like insect proteins. Never thought that you'd be eating insect proteins printed into a meatball, did you? Well,
Wow.
probably most people haven't. But
Amazing.
if you're ever curious how to get that sort of thing, it's there and it exists, and you can have 3D printed meatballs.
I tell you what, like there's I don't know if they still have them. There's like cricket bars where they use a ground up cricket flour. Those are pretty good. Not to weird, some people watching like, oh my gosh, but like actually, there's some of those things that aren't that bad. You don't like taste insect. You're like, you're just eating it like dried grasshoppers, things like that.
It's like one of
You
the
don't
most
really notice
sustainable
that.
food sources is insects. So we
Yeah,
should
and
really all
you
just switch over to that.
Yeah, just clean it. You clean up around the house, right? You got an ant problem, just eat the ants.
Exactly. You find a
Roach problem,
find
eat the roaches.
a little spider, just pop it in your mouth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully it's
a
not
good
poisonous,
snack.
but
Hopefully not.
Sometimes you just need like a little extra protein to like focus better. And if you're just like sitting there trying to focus and like a roach crawls out by your desk, you just be quick about it so that you don't miss
Instant
it.
brain food.
Yeah, and you got protein to help you sustain a little extra energy.
that's right. Now, if in some areas of the country like Texas, the roaches are big, so it may bite back. Just be wary of that. It may bite you back.
Be ready.
It's no good. Gotta be careful. You might have to daze it first. Just like whack it hard enough for it to just be like, wow. And then be quick about it.
Like that commercial with the old guy in the fishing pole with $1. Remember that? They gotta be quick about it.
Oh goodness.
Goodness.
All the things.
What else, guys? What else we got to talk about tonight?
Well, I'll say with the CyberLife torpedo, that's still, we're kind of working out, whatever kinks and whatnot, right? So it's there, but it's
Very beta.
So for those that companies out there interested, just touch base with Nathan or I. We'll keep you abreast and chat through your particular situation. We'll actually set up a call in that situation in some cases, instead of just chatting with you, or we can just chat with you either way. But that's something out there, and just want to let everyone know that. And also for the dojo, if you want to join the dojo, Laura mentioned that earlier. Check out the links that are available below or to the side or wherever they're posted at, depending on where you're watching.
Maybe I'll drop some comments in too before we drop off here, so everyone can just see that and grab it.
And the torpedo should be generally market ready, like at least mid-March. So for those who are looking to kind of get something going, it's interesting because since it's tied to the Underground Nexus, the Underground Nexus is something we've been working on since, I guess, 2020 at this point, since slightly before we started the dojo after we launched the Pied Hacker Experience back in the day. And so the Underground Nexus is a cloud and DevSecOps toolbox, more or less, is probably just the most direct way to explain it. And it's designed to allow you to scale from whatever you're using, and then if you need more power, then it actually hooks into what are called like code spaces, which are clouds, so that regardless of how powerful the device you're using the Nexus from is, then you can basically just like scale out into a more powerful cloud node and have like 32 cores if that's what you wanted, or 16 cores. But you can scale your power and scale your compute through the cloud using the Nexus. And then the torpedo basically is designed for hosting, so that your hosting can be easily distributed using serverless means with no servers. So It can be hosted in like Azure, AWS, all that stuff too for people who have the money for that, but not everyone is swimming in cash. And I know that because I've had people tell me, well, it's not that expensive. It's like, well, I don't know if you've ever tried to continuously host people from Azure or AWS. It's not just the $30 a month. Suddenly, every little thing you do, it's easy to spend $8,000 in AWS in a month on production. And if you're not making enough money for that, then there's alternatives now. And then one day when you can afford the expensive AWS or Azure, if you want to use it still, that's up to you. But you'll already be able to start. You can earn enough with the Nexus and the Torpedo to be able to use expensive means and resources another day.
Absolutely.
Put your money into your people.
That's crazy talk. Investing in people, crazy talk.
Never invest in people. That sounds. Wouldn't you rather invest in servers and
Cool.
puppies?
He's like, I'm restless now.
Yes.
I have been
Like I am.
sitting still for too long.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, yeah. Should we kind of wrap it up then, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think,
Awesome.
let us know in the comments if you want us to go 12 more hours. No, I'm kidding.
I guess, yeah, just a reminder to everyone that we will be live tomorrow with CyberLife television on the NATO as Code YouTube channel. There is a link in the description of this video wherever you're watching it. There is a link to that stream, which will be available, or well, you can watch it now. It's the radio station normal programming now. And then at noon Mountain Standard Time tomorrow, we're going to be kicking off the CyberLife live stream where we will be binge watching every single episode of the CyberLife hosted by Ken Underhill. So thanks, Ken, for being here. It's
Yeah,
been
absolutely, yeah.
awesome. And we're super excited to binge all the episodes tomorrow. And, of course, to stay tuned to future episodes that will be coming out. And, yeah.
Priorities. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks,
you.
everyone.
Yeah.
And we will
Thanks for having me again, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Ken,
Ken.
so much. All right, guys. We'll see you.